If we focus just first on how consumers view pets in their household, it has moved from yes, that is a family member to now my pet is an equal to me. And it may sound like a small shift, but it's a rather big one. I think all of us would say that it's part of a family, but a lot of the behaviors we're seeing is like, no, that the pet is really an equal and almost has a voice in the purchase decisions we make, whether it be furniture inside or outside, or the vacations we choose or whatever. You know, they really, they have an unvoiced opinion. And so when we think about cleanliness, immunity, both inside and out, we think it applies to dogs. All of these things are top of mind as consumers now run everything through a lens of, am I protecting my family? Am I protecting myself? And am I protecting my family? And that's both in touch and that's both in food. And it's in treats. As I mentioned, the carry-on benefits of things like benefits that can talk about immunity, that can talk about whole body health, that can talk about stamina, ability to fight infections and those types of things are clearly top of mind. I think they will carry through. I think that's going to be pervasive to all of us as humans and as consumers for a long time coming. But what we have seen in the COVID and post-COVID, or the very little of post-COVID we have, is a real flight to big brands that are trusted, brands that have been around for a while. Some of that is certainly supply chain driven, and evidence-based marketing would suggest those brands that spend the most to connect with the consumers are the ones that build the long-term memory structures that people go back to, particularly in times of when their brains are certainly focused on other things. So, and then I think there will be a little bit of a shift back towards mainstream. We've seen a significant premiumization across a lot of categories. We have seen it dramatically in pet food and pet treats in particular over the last 3 to 4 years. I think we'll start to see a shift back towards mainstream as accessible price points become more apparent to consumers. I think as they make different value decisions at shelf. And that may mean that they are still seeking a benefit, but they may look for brands that can offer that benefit at a better value, whether that's in a better absolute value or a better price point driven absolute price point value, or the value of the entire value chain. Whereas, can I have it delivered to my house? Can I become a subscriber so I never have to think about it again? Can I have it delivered to my house? Does it reduce waste in my house? Ergo, I think innovation will continue to be important in all categories because innovation is how you continue to drive value with consumers as consumers evolve. And consumers are definitely evolving. Sometimes we as marketers and manufacturers can help them evolve. Sometimes there are just macro forces that evolve them for us, ergo pandemic. And so, innovation will continue to be important. We suppose, we could be wrong, but we suppose that in the next 12 months or so, that consumers will start to narrow their both shopping list and their aperture of things they will consider when they're shopping any given category. And because they've got a lot of things on their mind, they're most likely wanting to spend less time in stores, ergo in public with large crowds. And I do think the behavior changes that we have talked about at a fingernail's depth only will impact how we as marketers think about benefits we bring to our products, whether it's the benefit in a consumable product or the packaging that it's delivered, how we think about the sanity of that, resealability, those types of things. So, suffice it to say that while we feel like it may be tempered in the next 12 months. We're certainly not going to temper our resources. We're going to continue to do lots of primary and secondary research, try to understand where the puck is going from a consumer perspective, and ensure that we do have full innovation pipelines. This is probably an obvious one, but it is a paradigm shift, I think, or it's an acceleration of a paradigm shift. Pre-COVID, the pet category was about 17 to 18%, depending on what data source you look at, of the pet category, which is a very large one, was online, with the estimation that by the end of 22, it would be at 25%. I'm here to tell you that we will hit 25% very quickly. The adoption rate for pet food and treats on e-com platforms, both pure play like Amazon and Chewy.com, and traditional combination online grocery pickup like a Walmart or a Kroger or a Wakefern ShopRite. It has accelerated, I think, beyond any of our imaginations, again, because it has a real impact to how we think about not only consumers' behavior of how they shop, when they shop, how they make the choices and decisions, what brands are elevated in those platforms, but also profitability and sustainability of the value chain for both manufacturer and the retailer. So it's a big one and it's a heady one. And I think we're going to have to stare at it much, much faster than we thought we were.